barrister and former Conservative MP Jerry Hayes. Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, Kev.
I asked this question to one of your barrister colleagues earlier. If Russell Brand was your client right now in the predicament that he's in, what would you be advising him to do?
Look at the evidence. When he goes to the police station, give a full comment interview. Tell his side of the story. Don't go no comment. Don't just do a blanket, I didn't do any of this. Any sex I had was consensual. Answer the police's questions, because juries like that. And if he gets to court, whether it will or not, I don't know, give evidence. Tell his side of the story. Be straightforward. Be honest.
Indeed. And the police are now officially investigating him because a fifth woman has come forward. Again, it's an obvious question, but if any of these accusations and allegations sort of come to fruition legally, you know, and they end up in court, the police investigate and find there is a case to answer, should stress Russell Brand denies all wrongdoing. But if they end up... These are very, very historical sexual assault allegations. They're extremely difficult to prove, aren't they?
Not necessarily. I prosecute a lot of these sort of cases. Yeah. No, they're not. And of course, one of the things that people are saying on the internet, which they shouldn't, because you've got one side for him and the other side against him. I mean, he hasn't even been charged yet. We don't know whether he's going to be charged. In that it is regarded as a myth and a stereotype to say, well, just because you didn't report it straight away. And the judge will have to warn the jury and direct them, ignore that. I mean, I did a case not so long ago when there was a man who was... he was raping 5-year-old boys, and this happened he got 27 years. And they didn't have the courage to come forward for all sorts of very good reasons for a long time. But really, there's a new twist to the story. I don't know whether you've seen it. I was coming in and I was looking at the Times, which is updated all the time, and that is YouTube are demonetizing.
they're taking away his ability.
This is wrong. I'm not saying whether he's guilty or innocent. I don't know. But he's been cancelled before anything has been proved against him. If someone made an allegation against you and you were acquitted, or may not even be charged, you'd be finished. You'd be out of this studio and you wouldn't be working in the industry again. That is wrong.
I tend to agree. I do reject the suggestion that what's going on right now is trial by media. What we've actually got is a 4-year investigation by two reputable newspapers, the Times and the Sunday Times, and Channel 4's dispatches. And what we're witnessing now, pages and pages in the newspaper, it's not a trial by media.
Right.
It is the media covering a major story.
That's what we're meant to do. We're meant to investigate. You wouldn't have got the expenses scandal of members of Parliament if it hadn't been for the Daily Telegraph breaking the story. Many things wouldn't have come before the public or the courts unless journalists did their job. So I don't want to silence journalists, and I don't think it is trial by media, but it could be on the internet when you've got two sides. Oh, he couldn't do anything wrong. Oh, he's totally guilty. That is wrong, and it is actionable as well. Whether he wants to take them to court is another matter, but they leave themselves at considerable risk.
Yes, it's a good point you make there. The trial by media is just a useless cliche.
Of course it is.
What it usually means is the media is covering a big story. But what happens with these big stories inevitably is the public get involved, and then it does become a sort of court of public opinion fracas, really.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the interesting thing is Catherine Ryan. What is she going to say? Because there are all sorts of allegations there, no more than allegations, that he was the person who was meant to have, I don't know, made her feel uncomfortable.
Well,
let's put it as that.
She said in an she didn't name him, but she said in an interview with Louis Theroux that she had to work with someone that she said was a sexual predator, and that she challenged him on that. And we now know that the person she was referring to was Russell Brand, who of course says he's not a sexual predator.
Exactly.
Now, talking about, you know, as we say, it's not trial by media, it's trial by the court of public opinion, if you like. If it ever did get to the police sort of charging him and there's a potential court case, I mean, would there be a defence to say, how does this guy get a fair trial after this wipeout coverage that basically depicts him as some kind of sex monster?
It happens all the time, but I've always been of the view, and as you know, I prosecute and I defend these sorts of cases, that there is anonymity for women who claim they've been assaulted. We don't say victim at this stage, we say complainant. Why shouldn't the person who's accused have that anonymity until they are convicted? Now, the thing is, you get a footballer, boom, straight on the front page of the newspaper. Okay, fair enough. But, you know, is that right, that their name before charge? It's tricky, isn't it?
It is.
How do you deal with it? I don't know how you deal with it, because the press have got the right to do these things. But on the other hand, look at all these actors who've been accused of things and nothing has happened. They'll never work again.
Yes, it is a problem. I mean, he is really locked in now to the cancellation process.
He's stuffed. He's totally stuffed. I doubt whether it'll work again.
I was saying earlier that these cancellation systems, they're always the same. It always starts with, you get the allegations made, which are shocking and all over the front page. Then a charity will drop them. Then their management will drop them. And then, obviously, the television companies say he'll never work for us again. And then they start coming for them financially, which is what has happened with YouTube. Now, he's estimated by posting 5 short videos a week onto YouTube, onto his channel, to make £1 million a year. So YouTube cutting that income off is pretty significant.
It is very significant, and I think it's wrong unless he's proved guilty. I mean, look at Hugh Edwards, thoroughly decent man, very popular. He hasn't committed any criminal offence, but he's effectively cancelled. Look at Philip Schofield. Okay, not the most popular man in show business, but he hasn't done anything legally wrong.
Well, don't forget what he said.
What was that?
It was. It was legal, but unwise, but not illegal.
Well, it wasn't illegal at the end of it.
It wasn't illegal.
No, but his counsel is finished.
Well, I mean, what we're talking about, I mean, all of these cases, you could talk about Jimmy Savile, you could talk about Philip Schofield, Hugh Edwards, and now Russell Brand. They come down to allegations that powerful people, famous people, misuse their power.
That's the problem, and it's everywhere. It's not just in show business. It could be in a department store. It could be in any workplace. Powerful people can abuse their position, and there's nothing new in it. We have to try and retrain them. How you retrain people like that, I do not know. Most people are honest and decent and keep their hands to themselves.
Yes, it is. I mean, as I say, I've got no sympathy for Russell Brand. You know, never liked him much. Never found him funny.
Oh, I thought he was quite funny.
He had his moments.
But
the point is, you know, it's not to do with the individual, and it's not to do with whether or not you think he might deserve it. Whoever it is, I find the cancellation process
it's horrible,
uncomfortable, to say the least.
So do I.
It is. You know, it's like this kind of ruthless destruction, bit by bit by bit. And in that respect, I'm sure Mr. Brand is not having a happy time right now.
Who was that comedian? I can't remember his name now. Who was done over death in a swimming pool. He was a constituent of
Michael Barrymore. Who, by the way, has come out in support of Russell Brand.
Oh, no, but for the wrong reasons.
You can understand why. Yeah. You know, I've been there, sort of thing.
A talented man who was destroyed.
Indeed. Jerry, great to talk to you.
Nice to speak
Jerry Hayes in the studio, barrister and former Conservative MP.
Amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent.